lawyer trained both in Nigeria and the United States. My question will focus on two major issues affecting my country, Nigeria. And the first one will be about Boko Haram, the insecurity in Nigeria. Presently, we're trying to procure arms to deal with Boko Haram in Nigeria, and we are having difficulty in procuring arms in the United States. And we've been made to understand that the US has refused to sell arms to Nigeria because of certain human rights issues. As a Nigerian seated here at this moment, I would like to ask the US government, what is that exact human rights report? We want to know. And again, now that our president indeed has decided to illegally get money from our country across to South Africa to buy arms through the black market, and decided not to declare the amount of money to even the South African government, and it has been impounded now. What is the international community and a superpower like the US doing to sanction such move? And again, I would like to ask about this. My party, the All Progressive Congress, we've been accused in the past for sponsoring Boko Haram. And we have said, as a genuine political party with a huge interest in protecting the rights and the aspirations of our people, we believe that Boko Haram is a declaration against humanity, and we are ready as well to also fight Boko Haram. So we've had a lot of exchanges, PDP accusing APC for sponsoring Boko Haram, APC accusing PDP for sponsoring Boko Haram. And we have said we want countries like United States to set up international inquiry, independent one, to detect whoever that is sponsoring Boko Haram, either a political party or any personality involved. Nigerians will be very, very glad to know today those behind Boko Haram, and will be willing to see them being punished. So we've made such requests for so long, and we've not gotten any answer from the US government. And the last one is about Ebola. I can tell you that certain number of Nigerians are not happy with the United States today, because we believe that the time we needed the support of the US most, the government was not available for us. When we had the Boko Haram outbreak in the country, and there was no solution, no way out, and there was a discovery of a drug here, I think to be precise, the ZMapp drug here in the United States, and we requested for that particular drug. We were denied. And today, we were forced to face our own problem ourselves. And to God be the glory, we've been able to resolve our own problem on our own. And now Ebola is now in the US. What do you have to say to those Nigerians who are saying that the US has not done well, and now they are ready to learn from our own way of that we have adopted in resolving Ebola? Thank you.
I'll talk a little bit about Ebola, because I think that's kind of an issue I think a lot of us will probably focused on. But I want to thank you for asking such easy questions, because those are the kind of first of all, I think the main thing that one has to say about Nigeria's response to the Ebola crisis is that it was extraordinarily successful, and it's to be lauded and praised by everyone. think one of the things that we have realized in dealing with Ebola outbreaks and working with our partners in different countries in Africa dating back really decades at this point, has been that the most effective way to deal with an Ebola crisis is through sort of standard health infrastructure type approaches where you do contact tracing, you track folks down, you make sure that you hospitalize the people who are suffering, you check to see all the people they've been in contact with and see where they are, and you can actually meet the challenge of this disease. In some countries, I think, and I see our colleague from Guinea is here, the health system, I think, was overwhelmed and was unable to respond. The impressive thing about Nigeria, I think, was, and I don't want to belittle the role that the CDC played, the American Centers for Disease Control and Prevention played in working with the governor of the state of Lagos and with other Nigerian officials in the early stages of it in developing a response. But the ability to do the contact tracing and the rest of it has led to the point where it was incredibly heartening to see, I think it was over the weekend, that Nigeria was declared to be Ebola-free. We're not able to declare that the United States is Ebola-free, and I think it's a real strong tribute to what Nigeria was able to accomplish in those terms. The ZMAP stuff, which I guess is what you're talking about, the serum or whatever, really there hasn't been enough research and funding over the years in the development of the serum, and there's extremely limited availability of it. And there's also questions of when it's good to apply it and when there isn't. I think a lot of that is kind of ramping up now, and I think maybe we can see that being part of the battle, but really there is no substitute for the kind of contact tracing that we saw happen in Nigeria, that we've seen in Senegal, which has also been declared Ebola-free, that hopefully we've seen after a few initial missteps that we're seeing now in the United States as well, where we're really confronting the disease. So I think that's really where the focus should be. I don't know if you want to talk about Boko Haram or Nigeria's human rights record.
Just very quickly, I do not have a great depth of expertise in Boko issues, but I will say that in terms of arms sales and human rights issues generally, and we look at this closely in every country. Nigeria is a strong partner of the United States. I mean, it's a troop contributing country on CT issues more broadly, counterterrorism issues more broadly, and it is a strong partnership. That said, in every country, in every situation, we look closely at human rights issues related to our security partnerships, weapon sales, various other forms of cooperation. So I think I don't know enough about the case specifically that you're talking about, but I will say that it is something that we take very, very seriously, and I mean, it's actually part of it's legislated for us to look at security cooperation and how we do go forward, not on how we train individuals and work with individuals and looking at human rights abuses. So this is actually something that our Congress has legislated for the Department of Defense and the State Department to look at. So that is incumbent upon us to take those things very seriously. So we don't, the moves that we take there, we don't take lightly.
And let me just add, I mean, one thing that the State Department does also by law is every year we publish, you asked about what is the State Department's evaluation of human rights in Nigeria.